Holy crap, people are here? Yo, what's up, Marble? How's it going, dude? Well, that's obviously a bot. Who would have guessed? How's it going, guys? Eagle Gamer. Carbon. Made for Mario. Dude, what's up? How's it going? I'm just doing task results. I'm not regularly streaming right now, as most would know, but I don't know. Maybe I could work something out once I get more into the rhythm of my full-time job. We'll see. I'd like to maybe, like, do weekends at least. Hey, what's up, RCM? How have you been? Appreciate you making all the videos for Retro, by the way. Very cool. Alrighty, well, I guess I'm gonna get started. So, welcome to Task 5 of my series on the Task Discord. Task 5 was in the Moon Kingdom. You could warp or respawn. I don't think a single person used respawn, which is very interesting to me. There was 1 or 2 respawn points that I thought would be used. I guess not, though. I guess they were too slow. Not a single person respawned. I was so shocked. Anyways, so I guess warp to a checkpoint since no one respawned. You had to complete 4 of the 6 objectives to finish the task. Timing ends upon the completion of your last task. Last completed objective. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm very tired. You can bounce on an Astro Lancer. Those are the space squids. You can break 3 rocks. You can collect a rocket flower. You can open a flower, collect a heart, get damaged by a moon snake. I wanted to make objectives that weren't too similar to the recent standard task in Moon Kingdom. That was enter loading zone, collect a heart, open a flower. So it does share 2 of them. However, I still think it was diversified enough with the breaking of the rocks. You could choose to start at the Ringing Bells Plateau and take a rocket flower over. Or you can even get damaged by a moon snake, so... And obviously bounce on Mr. Space Squid. How is Backpipe going? I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, let's move on to actual results. I can't see my mouse. Okay, so, in 11th place, we have, Moby with a time of 17.67 seconds, earning himself 3 points. Let's, take a look at this run. Yeah, you got last. I'm sorry. Anyways, Moby starts out his run by immediately hitting some rocks. Maybe could have been done a little bit faster. Gets damaged by the moon snake. And then, does some movement to bounce onto Mr. Space Squid. So I think there was a lot that could have been improved here. Like, actually a ton. So, the first thing is, instead of, like, diving out of the down throw, you walked, which is incredibly slow, especially on Moon Kingdom. And then, not only that, you did a ground pound jump, which is also incredibly slow. And then you did a, Cappy roll jump, as they like to call it. Just all of these things combined are incredibly slow. You could have had better lines for your rocks. Yeah, just overall, I don't know, maybe there was a way to, like, take damage from the moon snake and still have enough rocket flower speed to get up onto the ledge without ground pound jumping. The least you could have done was spin pound jump. But, yeah, overall, that, was a run. Like I said, it was a little slow. There were just pieces of it that were a little bit unoptimized, and you lost a lot of time for it. Now, before we move on, I am going to show Moby's alternate run that he submitted. This was before this heart got banned. I just want to show you guys how fast this was, how absolutely game-breaking this was for this task, if I allowed it. pretty much everyone would have been using this route, because this isn't even fully optimized, and he managed to get, like, a low 9 with it, so, like, I didn't have a choice, dude. I had to ban that shit. Anyways, moving on. Moonsnake was kind of meh. Yeah. It was kind of hard to balance the objectives on this one, because I feel like the flowers and the rocks were, like, the main objectives that you had to do. And Moonsnake wasn't really near any of them, so it's understandable that Moonsnake wasn't really used all that much. Anyways, moving on to 10th place, this was Marble. Memory got back to me. Anyways, look at this quality. Beautiful. It starts off pretty similar to Moby's, but decides to take the rocket flower over to the main area. And he bounces on the space squid, opens the flower with a down throw. Now, normally, I would think opening the flower with a down throw would be faster. However, because this is Moon Kingdom, I honestly feel like opening the flower with a mid-air down throw actually was kind of slow here. And I think the reason to explain that is Mario spends more time in the air due to the moon gravity. And because of this, it probably ends up being slower than you just rolling into the flower and bouncing up and using that momentum to hit Mr. Space Squid. Let's see, what else? The start of your run was also a little bit unoptimized. Like, let's see. Yeah, you decide to do an up throw dive, which was interesting. A well-timed spin pound would have been faster, definitely. But, yeah, just, once again, there's just some small, optimization issues, and, like I said, you definitely lost more time than it looks by mid-air down throwing that flower. In the car, no audio. That's okay, Jigs. Happy that you're tuning in anyway. Anyways, moving on, we got 9th place, which was Sail Off. Oh, I didn't even mention what time Marble got. Marble got a 14.47 and earned himself 8 points. I don't think that's as important because you guys can read the screen. Anyways, 9th place, Sail Off. Sail Off got 14.27 and earned himself 10 points, if the little pop-up would go away. So, let's take a look at Sail Off's run. So it starts off, again, kind of similarly to the previous 2 runs. Doesn't break any rocks, though, so... And again, this mid-air down throw. I know it looks fast, but because this is Moon Kingdom, you lose a considerable amount of time for that. Because Mario's just spending too much time in the air. And the rule about Moon Kingdom is, if you're in the air for a reasonable amount of time without vectoring insanely, it's considered very slow. And long jumping? Maybe not the best idea. I think you would have been better off, literally, just spin pounding after getting the heart, and then just rolling straight into the flower. Like, I honestly feel like that would have saved almost a second. It's that much. Besides that, the run was actually pretty clean. I don't really see too much else that he could have really fixed here. Maybe the beginning could have been a little bit faster. I noticed that he, waited a little bit before actually collecting the flower. He probably lost some time walking, though definitely the main time loss here is the long jump into the mid-air down throw. He did bounce on the very edge of Mr. Space Squid here, which I think definitely did matter. Depending on what part of the head you bounce on the Space Squid, I know they're called Astrolancers, I just like calling them Space Squids. Anyways, depending on the part that you, bounce on him, Mario will hit him earlier down here, you know, close to his eyes without, you know, getting damaged, of course, and not bouncing on him. Like, I think, like, this is, like, the prime area that you want to hit, because this is the closest that you can hit him with still bouncing and not taking damage, while if you were up here, it would take longer for Mario to get to that spot. So, good job to Sail Off for at least considering that. Like I said, mid-air down throw in Moon, not the play. Moving on to 8th place, we got Joseph. Joseph earned himself a time of 13.49 seconds and earned himself 14 points. I don't know why I said earned twice. I mean, I guess he earned it. He did do the run. Opts for 2 rocket flowers. I'm not too sure how much time this actually saved. It's possible that it saved a lot of time, but I think the biggest problem with this run is the lines that he takes and the flower that he chooses to hit. So he breaks 2 rocks immediately, which is good. And then he could have hit that rock there, but no, instead he goes all the way over here, hits the flower, hits that rock, when honestly, I think it might have been better if he cut a tighter line while hitting that 3rd rock before leaving Ringing Bells Plateau, and then just went straight for the flower by the Space Squid. And he still would have had some rocket flower juice left as well. He could have maybe even done the homing throw at it, which would have saved a considerable amount of time, because he would have been able to homing throw the flower and be able to jump up and bounce up on the Space Squid. I don't know, maybe that was too hard. But just looking at this run, it had potential to be insanely good. And then he just decides to go to the other flower, and then I'm just like, why? What happened? Did you seriously not get knifed by a frame? You didn't see the final time in mine? Yours was a 14.47, and Salof's was a 14.27, so you lost by 0.2. So, basically Joseph's run was clean, but it made some questionable routing decisions. Going for that other flower, and also the lines, and like I said, he could have hit all 3 rocks before leaving the Ringing Bells Plateau, and that would have saved him a considerable amount of time based off his lines, and being able to home in on the flower, and then just jumping up to bounce on the Space Squid. I don't know, maybe it was too hard. I didn't do the route, so I don't know. But it just seemed like that would be fast. Anyways, in 7th place, we have AJ, who earned himself a time of 12.87, and got himself 17 points. So let's take a look at AJ's run. He hits a rock immediately, walking with the flower, not very fast, but he does vector with the rocket flower, which definitely saves time, and bounces on Mr. Space Squid, as most runs end. Most runs ended by bouncing on that Space Squid, whether you started at Quiet Wall or the Ringing Bells Plateau. And this was intentional design. I feel like both of these routes were very good in their own retrospect. The Quiet Wall allowed you to be closer to everything, but starting at the Ringing Bells Plateau gave you leverage plus rocket flower speed to maybe capitalize on. So we're definitely going to see that as we go further into this task. And the runs get really close as we get closer to first place. Well, obviously they get closer, but like 6th through 1st are within like 0.5 of each other, I think. So it got really close. Anyways, back to talking about AJ's run. Hitting that rock there was fine. He maybe could have down-throwed it, because I think he lost a bit of time walking. Again, walking is slow. Try not to walk. Not roll boosting there, I don't think affected him too much, because he was able to capitalize using the downward slope. So I don't think that mattered. CP Rock is definitely faster with a down throw. Yeah, definitely, dude. Because, like I said, he lost a lot of time walking. Like, just watching it again, he probably loses, like, 4 or 5 frames walking. And while that's not, like, noticeable normally in tasks, you're trying to save as much time as possible. So, it definitely did matter. But it also looks like he took a note from Salof's book and bounced really well on Mr. Space Squid, so he might have compensated for some time there. But besides that, again, the Rocket Flower vectors were really good. And hitting 2 rocks for the price of 1, yeah. Not too much more to say there. So that was AJ's run. In moving on to the top 6, again, the top 6 are very close to each other. 11.83 to 11.33. Let's see what happens. In 6th place, we have Pseudonym, Pseudonym earned himself a time of 11.83 seconds and 21 points? No, 22. 22. He started at the Ringing Bells Plateau. Kind of taking notes from Joseph's run, but doing what I said. He's saving a ton of time over Joseph just by having slightly better lines, hitting different rocks. I mean, 2 rocket flowers kind of seems maybe unnecessary, but at the same time, if you have good lines and you're hitting rocks optimally and bouncing low on Mr. Space Squid, I feel like it's going to work out for you. Another thing to mention is people are using the flower to bounce up immediately, you know, to get enough height to bounce onto the Space Squid. I think normally this would be really slow, but because this is Moon Kingdom, and the flower still acts like it would be on any other kingdom, I think the flower actually has an advantage here, which is interesting, because it probably wouldn't have an advantage normally. So, that's just how Moon Kingdom works, I guess. We're taking advantage of the flower not exactly acting the way it should in low gravity. In fact, I'm pretty sure it acts exactly the same, at least when you're first launching up. Of course, when you're falling down, it's probably roughly the same speed as low gravity, but when you're first launching up, it acts normally. Because this is Moon Kingdom, said no one but Aggron and Tomshi. It's true, though. Moon Kingdom is very unique. It has very unique aspects and mechanics that just are not affected in any other part of the game. So, you know, we gotta point that out, man. You know, I could have been like, let's do a Moon Cave task, but then I couldn't have pointed out all of the cool things about Moon Kingdom. Anyways, in 5th place, we have Blip. Blip got an 11.7, earning himself 24 points. Let's take a look at Blip's run. Starting at the Quiet Wall, again, we're going to see a mix of both Ringing Plateau and Quiet Wall. I think those were the only 2 checkpoints that were used. I kind of expected that. I honestly didn't expect anything else to be used. I was maybe... Okay, the one respawn that I thought could have a chance to be used was, I can't put my finger on it. The Mush Shop. Or, you know, like the shop. I'm surprised the shop wasn't used, because I feel like the shop actually could have worked. There's rocks there, you can get damaged by Moonsnake. There is a life apart, and assuming you collect it last, it would work out for you. So, with all those things being close together, I'm kind of surprised the shop wasn't used. Not to mention, there's also a heart on top of the shop as well, if you ground pound it. So, I'm just a little surprised that none of the respawn points got used, especially the shop. That was the one I was expecting to say, or to see at least once. Anyways, I'm not talking about Blip's run. Let's talk about Blip's run. Blip starts from Quiet Wall, and he opts to take a straight line to the flower while hitting some rocks, bouncing on Space Squid, not doing him last, though, and then collecting the heart last. I'm honestly not sure if this was an advantage or a disadvantage to the other runs, because looking at it, it does make sense to get the heart last, as, you know, you might be able to benefit from, maybe 1 or 2 of the frames right before collecting it, since it was as the heart is being collected, like the first frame it's collected. So, I don't know, he might have capitalized on that, but then again, at the same time, he also had to, do a dive off of Mr. Space Squid here. And as we know with Moon Kingdom, being in the air is slow. The longer you're in the air in Moon Kingdom, the worse off you're going to be. Unless if you're doing insane rocket flyer vectors. That's, like, the one exception. So, like, being in the air, like, it's okay. But at the same time, I don't know. It's not okay. Like, I honestly feel like he might have been able to squeeze out, like, another 0.2 if he opted to, what am I trying to say? If he opted to get to the heart without, you know, going into the air, like, maybe he could have just done a slight roll cancel to hit the rock, maintain some speed, and then buffer a spin pound onto the heart. But besides that, this run's really solid. And, yeah, there's not really too much to say there. It's just a really solid run that ends with collecting the heart instead of bouncing on Space Squid. Now, your top 4. In 4th place, we have Jigs Guy, who beat Blip by a frame. 11.66. I don't know what that video is in the corner, but it's kind of terrifying. Anyways, hitting a rock, hitting more rocks, going to the heart. I think he could have collected that a little bit faster. But besides that, everything was really clean. I liked the way that he maintained speed while breaking the rocks. It was well done. Like, the vectors generally work here. But at the same time, it may be... I don't know this for certain, but it maybe, just maybe, could have been faster if he decided to not, you know, do vector jumps at all, roll cancel into the rocks, and then use the slope speed to hit the flower first, and then do something similar to Blip's run. Because by doing that, he would be able to take straighter lines, stay on the ground, and, yeah, besides that, I don't know. You feel like pulling the heart out of the ground, down through the rock, and then collecting the flower would have been faster? I don't know. That's kind of a tough call. Wait, which run are you referring to? You're referring to one with a rocket flower. The last 2 runs haven't used rocket flowers. Oh, you're referring to Pseudonym's run. I'm not sure. I'd have to rewatch it to, like, figure that out. Top 3 Pog. Yes, indeed, Eagle. In 3rd place, this might come as a shock to some people, but we got Zyvler in 3rd place. Zyvler's run was very solid. Earned a time of 11.6. If the pop-up would go away, he earned 26 points. Let's take a look at Zyvler's run. Starting at Ringing Bells Plateau. It's basically a better Pseudonym run. Yeah. It's literally Pseudonym's run, but better. What was better about it? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I guess his lines while collecting the rocket flowers were better. That's the only noticeable thing. Maybe the vector with the rocket flower was a little bit better. Like, I'm not too sure. It's basically Pseudonym's run, but better. Carbon through rocks? He did. Speaking of Carbon. 2nd place. Carbon. 11.4. Earning himself 29 points. Starting at the quiet wall. Has a really fast spin pound. Like, that was basically tasks. Throwing rocks, sniping the flower, doing a heart dram akin to the standard task. I was hoping we'd see heart dram again. It's basically where you pull out the heart, keep moving, and then, you know, throw Cappy behind to collect the heart. So, this run, honestly, is just swag. There's not really too much else to say about it. It's clean. It's got that cool snipe. It's definitely the favorite submission, in my opinion. Yeah, he threw rocks. What more is there to say? That snipe is so good. The thing is, though, I'm not really sure how much time that actually saved. It must not have saved that much, considering, like, he still had to go around and then still, you know, do a midair vector to have enough height to reach Space Squid after collecting the heart. But, like, also not to mention he breaks 4 rocks because he threw a rock at the flower, but, like, the 4th rock, I guess, was in the way, so it's just bonus at this point. Yeah. Flower Snipe is so cool. I'm just watching it over and over again. Yeah, this run is really cool. Well done to Carbon. It may not have won time-wise, but it won the hearts of the people, man. And in 1st place, with the oh-so-famous quality, we got Eagle Gamer earning himself the big fat 30. Beating Carbon by 2 frames. 2 frames. I told you the top 6 were close. They were literally 0.5 of each other. 2 frames. I think what separated Eagle's run to Zyvler, because they used very similar tactics, well, Zyvler and Pseudonym, what separates these 3 runs is, well, one, I don't think Eagle spent any time walking. Well, I mean, he walked a little bit there, but he maintained his speed a little bit better than Zyvler. And he decides to wait to, home in on the flower, and I think this allowed him to keep, like, his rocket flower speed, maybe? Honestly, I'm not sure what separates this run between Zyvler and Pseudonym. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, I do. His vector was a lot stronger on the jump over the gap. And as we know, vectors are good. You get more distance, and with a rocket flower, you're obviously at top speed. So, that plus distance allows Eagle to edge out the competition. And when I mean edge out, 2 freaking frames! And then he also gets the low bounce on the Space Squid, and that's just the icing on the cake. You think the homing rocket flower gave him more time? The thing is, time didn't matter, Marble. Sorry, not Marble. Moby. I don't think that mattered because he got to the flower with his rocket flower still active. So it's not like that really made a difference. Because I'm pretty sure Zyvler and Pseudonym also had their flower when they were bouncing on Squid Boy. Trick jumping helped me vector in Moon. Indeed, Eagle. Well done, dude. I gotta clear my throat or something. Anyways, Task 6 is not ready yet. I've been busy with work and stuff. For those of you that don't know, I do have a full-time job now, so I have been busy with work. I literally worked all day and then got home, timed the runs, and ate dinner, and here we are. I'm doing results. And now I have to try and make Task 6 again, because my original idea was a flop, and I fell asleep last night. So, I'll make Task 6, and hopefully have it out by tonight. And obviously you guys will have a week, so it'll be due next Wednesday or something. Anyways, thanks for tuning into the results stream, and I hope you guys have a good night.